This is One on One. Pleased to welcome Randy Alexander, Executive Board Member, Philadelphia Music Alliance, and President and CEO, Randex Communications. How you doing, Randy?
I'm doing great, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing great. The Philadelphia Music Alliance, created in June of '86, is?
Philadelphia Music Alliance is basically the umbrella organization for what's known as the Philadelphia Music Walk of Fame, which is on Broad Street, which now has 140 brass plaques laid into the cement on both sides of Broad Street, stretching a couple blocks. Bigger than that, it's really a nonprofit organization, community-based organization that's about two things. One, perpetuating the phenomenal music legacy of Philadelphia, and two, perpetuating the future and nurturing the future of musicians to keep coming out of Philadelphia.
Listen, before we take a look at some of the folks, Nina Simone and others on the Walk of Fame, Philly sound.
Well, the Philly sound is really something that came out of the 70s, and it's really based in, another way of saying it is the sound of Philadelphia, which is something that came through Philadelphia International Records, which was helmed by Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff, a.k.a. Gamble and Huff, who are Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, who are architects of a special sound.
Is it a big R&B sound?
Huge, huge. And Gamble and Huff have a lot to do with that.
You know what's interesting? When I first started understanding a little bit about Philadelphia and that whole Philly sound, one of our friends over at WBGO, Felix Hernandez, the Rhythm Review on Saturday morning, he's like, yeah, it's the Philly sound. We did a whole show on the Philly sound. I go, what, the what? There's a whole history there, right?
There's a massive history. There's a massive history of not only the Philly sound, but just Philadelphia music in general.
Dick Clark part of that?
Dick Clark is absolutely a part of that.
Make that Dick Clark connection.
Well, you really, if you...
Is it American Bandstand shot in Philadelphia?
American Bandstand started in Philadelphia. Wow. It was called Bandstand before it syndicated nationally and became American Bandstand.
So local Bandstand?
46 and Market Streets.
Wow, no.
Yeah, the studio's still there.
Dick Clark right there. He's in the Philadelphia Walk.
He came, we inducted him back in the 80s, and he posed, he came, he was very supportive. He was really supportive of what we did.
By the way, Georgette, do me a favor. Put up some of the shots, and we'll set this up. Nina Simone.
Well, you know, here you get Nina Simone now. Look, we claimed her first, and this year she was just inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Awesome.
You know, it was great. Actually, let me just, an addendum to that, two people at this year's induction in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame were Nina Simone.
John Bon Jovi got inducted. He doesn't have a Philly. That's a Jersey guy. Don't take him.
He has Philadelphia roots, sort of. And Sister Rosetta Tharpe.
Yeah?
Okay.
Pearl Bailey.
Pearl Bailey. I mean, my God. A great showbiz legend for decades and decades. People don't necessarily know she's from Philadelphia. I mean, it's a real education when you come and look at that walk.
Who's up next? Come on.
Dizzy Gillespie. I mean, my God, bebop, jazz. You'd be amazed at the jazz giants that come from Philadelphia.
From Philly?
Dizzy's only one of them. I mean, Dizzy Gillespie, John Coltrane.
Coltrane from Philadelphia.
Yeah, West Philadelphia. I mean, his house is a official landmark. Has a plaque.
I'm going to give you another one. Help me on this, team. Who do we? Before we do Chubby Checker, I know his picture's coming up. Didn't we do guy who wrote the book? Is it Bobby Rydell?
Bobby Rydell. I brought him to your show.
That was you.
That was me.
I never know how people get here, but
he was one of the 3 teen idols. The 3 teen idols.
Hold on. I'm going to give you Frankie Avalon.
Go ahead.
Bobby Rydell.
Right.
And hold on.
I'm holding.
Who is it?
Fabian.
Fabian. Oh, I don't remember Fabian. I don't know.
Well, they were the bandstand guys. I mean, they were the guys that came out when Elvis went into the Army. There was sort of like an interim between, they bridged the gap between Elvis and the Beatles.
Wow.
And they all came from South Philly in a certain, like, very small radius. They all knew each other. They all grew up with each other.
A lot of them had Italian names that changed.
I'm
not going there, but I know that.
Hey, you know. You know.
Oh, okay. So who'd you have, Georgette? Chubby Checker.
Chubby Checker, the twist. Now he's right. You know, he comes right through the bandstand thing. He was a contemporary, or is a contemporary of Bobby and Fabian and Frankie and all them. Another South Philly guy. You know, he was a chicken plucker. If you read in the Italian market, if you go back and read the history books.
I'm going to give you another one. I'm going to switch gears dramatically.
Go ahead.
One of my all-time favorites, only because of Teddy Pendergrass, the great Teddy Pendergrass, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. With that voice from Teddy Pendergrass. You got a shot? Oh, there's Teddy Pendergrass, right? The second one. Look at that shot right there. Second over from the right.
I'll give you the quick story on him.
Don't give the story on the end.
No. The beginning.
That's Teddy Pendergrass.
Okay, so Teddy Pendergrass, I don't know if you know, he was the drummer.
No, he wasn't. He was the singer.
He was a drummer first. Leon Huff of Gamble and Huff noticed him and heard him singing in a club and brought him out front, said he'd be great out front. And they had, by the time he had hit his peak, what Kenny Gamble likes to say is he was like the Black Elvis, they called him.
He was, let's just say back in the day, a very romantic singer. He's the one that, never mind.
Well, they like to say a lot of babies were born to Teddy Pendergrass.
Let's leave that alone. Patti LaBelle.
Patti LaBelle.
Got the shot of Patti LaBelle?
Oh, my God.
Tell me what makes her special.
Patti LaBelle.
Because she's Patti LaBelle.
What do you say? I mean, she's one of the grand divas in contemporary pop and R&B for now 50, 60 years. Okay, going back to Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells in the early 60s.
Right.
Okay, she was inducted into our walk. She's a power. She's a force. She was inducted as a solo artist into the walk 20-some years ago.
Right.
This past year, we said, you know what? She had a group also in the 70s called La Belle. You know, with Lady Marmalade was their huge anthem. So we inducted Patty's group, which was Patty, Nona Hendrix, and Sarah Dash, who have been with her for over 50 years.
Amazing. The last two out of the R&B genre is Joan Jett first. Joan Jett and the
Black Hearts.
There it is. She's right there. I mean, that's talent.
Joan Jett was born in Philadelphia, spent her first couple years in Philadelphia, then went to Baltimore. But she has roots in Philadelphia, and that's really important, either have had roots or to have spent a significant time here, especially if it was part of your career.
Let me do this. Todd, you got Todd Rundgren? A lot of people don't appreciate this guy.
Todd Rundgren.
What was his favorite? What was his great song?
Oh, Hello, It's Me.
Hello, It's Me.
All right, the Naz was his earlier group.
He's from Philly.
He's from Upper Darby, which is also where Tina Fey is from, by the way.
Really? Because I know he's not from South Philly.
And it's where the legendary Tower Theater is.
Look at you.
Okay.
You are a walking historian.
I've walked the streets a few years.
That's good stuff. Listen, check this out, folks.
There's great stuff coming from the
Randy
streets.
Alexander, Executive Board Member, Philadelphia Music Alliance, and President and CEO of Randex Communications. Good to see you, my friend.
Steve, always a pleasure.
Well done.
Absolutely.
Check us out after this. That was awesome.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the New Jersey Education Association, University Hospital, Johnson & Johnson, the law firm of Gibbons, P.C., the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, Wells Fargo, and by Seton Hall University. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.